This could be you, stranded in a place during a flood, and the lifeguards are too late in their actions to save you. Man cannot overpower the fury of nature. You must be wondering, why would you land yourself in such a position? Reason being our technology advancement. Hi, this is Tanu, and welcome to my channel Mother of Knowledge. A panel of experts from Future of Humanity Institute, in July 2008, Oxford University published result of a survey regarding the global catastrophic risk that humans will face during 21st century. The results are questionably surprising and concerning. The experts agree that there is 1 in 5 chance of human extinction before the 2100. The one thing that should keep us awake at night is the unbridled development of AI.
At the 2008 Oxford Conference, participants considered nanotechnology, artificial intelligence, and war to be the 3 categories that were most likely to bring about such an event. The development of artificial intelligence is supposed to make lives a lot easier, but in practice might represent the biggest existential threat. Because advanced technology enables a larger population to live in a smaller area. But if something happens to the resources themselves, then you don't have the capacity to support the population anymore. We have a tendency to assume that we can always innovate our way out of the crisis of the moment. There's also no guarantee that technology will save a civilization when it's faced with an existential threat.
Is there any way we can prevent it? Perhaps the answer will be one more that for now remains unexplained.
Let's take small steps to save an environment beginning with mudflats. Today, we look at waves breaking on the shore at Agassiz mudflat of Goa, a favorite destination of all. Mudflats are flat, muddy areas exposed by the receding tide. They form when mud, silt, and other sediments are deposited by tides or rivers in sheltered coastal areas. Here is a glimpse of tide coming in on the mudflat in Alaska and Pacific Northwest. This is a home to many kinds of creatures who have adapted to this zone. We have number of mollusks, bivalves in particular soft-shell clamps and quahog, the commercially important species that people dig for. There are a number of polychaete worms and annelid worms that come to the surface to feed. When the tides come in, that's when crab, lobsters, and fish come along and consume them. Through their tunnels and siphons, they bring a little bit of oxygen and nutrients down into the mud. How to check the health of a mudflat? By measuring the oxygenation layer. For this we need a piece of pipe, trowel, and a scale. First thing we do is chuck down a meter-squared quadrat and a piece of pipe and plow a little core into the sediment as deep as possible. Use a trowel to cut around the edges. Then jam your hand down the side and pull out the core. Extract the core out of the pipe. to get a really good cross-section of what the sediment looks like. What does it indicate?
What indicates the sediment oxygenation, or the RPD, is the colour change from a lighter colour. So think about a sandy colour. But when things start to lose oxygen, they get darker and darker. And we can see, obviously, this is really dark all the way to pretty much the surface. So it's what we call anoxic, or completely oxygen deplete. So there's very little oxygen in the system. So it's not surprising that I can't see a single animal living in the sediments in this location. There's a couple of little snails on the sediment surface here, which scavenge around the top and get food that way, but very little inside the sediments. So just to get a measure, you could probably say around 1 centimetre for this. Anything above 3 centimetres deep in terms of that black layer is considered pretty unhealthy. Beyond that 3 centimetres is generally pretty good, and you'll find some animals in sediments like that. How healthy an estuary is by looking at the RPD layer. This changes over different time scales. When it's happening really fast, we need to ask questions of why is this happening? What's happening in the surrounding area of the estuary that's making these changes? Obviously the animals need oxygen, and in this case they're not getting it. So it's a really, really important but really nice to go out in the estuary, go into different areas, measure the depth of the RPD, take it down, you've seen how easy it is, and have some fun, as well as answering pretty important scientific questions and conserving estuaries at the same time.
What is the significance of mudflat, and why must we protect them?
Why? Why? Oh, that's why.
If rainforests are described as the lungs of the planet, then mudflats are the kidneys. They have supported human life, continue to provide us with food, water, supply transport, provides livelihood for around 1 billion of people worldwide. International tourists travel for birdwatching and relaxation, and of course, supports millions of jobs around the world. The role of mudflats provides homes for many endangered species, provide nurseries for fish and other aquatic life, and a service stations for millions of migratory birds to rest and refuel. Many endemic species are found only in specific mudflats. What is the relationship between mudflat and climate change? Mudflats absorb and store vast amounts of carbon as carbon sinks. Also protect us from extreme weather events by storing rain like sponge. Protecting us from floods, tsunamis, storm surges, cyclones, and hurricanes. Mudflats also protects from heat by reducing temperature by 10 degrees and carbon emissions. What are the main challenges in conserving mudflats? Mudflats have been abused due to pollution, unsustainable water use for agriculture, effluents from industrial process, thus affecting climate. What role does government play on protection of mudflats?
Hello, my name's Terry Townsend and I'm a fellow and advisor at the Paulson Institute. So protection can be effective only if countries work together. And of course, if we look at coastal wetlands, then migratory species such as waterbirds, many of whom migrate from some of the most northerly parts of the planet, Siberia, Alaska, to some of the most southerly parts of the planet, Australia and New Zealand. And of course they need to stop, rest and refuel along the way. So migratory birds don't respect political boundaries. And again, if we're going to protect them, we need to protect not only the places where they breed, not only the places where they spend the non-breeding season, but also the places in between that they need in order to be able to make that journey.
Policies and regulations to discourage from damaging and create benefit for those who protect and restore. Also involve public through education. In Sundarbans, Women-Led Initiative is committed to preserve the mudflats. They are part of mangrove plantation on mudflats, and due to which population of crabs, birds have increased and banks didn't break even after heavy cyclones. Thank you for watching. If you want to do positive karma, then please like, share and subscribe to do a bit to save our planet.